Hi everybody, Doug Jenkins with the Hancock County Chamber of Commerce, continuing our series of videos on our YouTube channel on different ways that we can cope with the COVID-19 shutdowns that are going on right now. And we've talked a lot about working from home. We've talked a lot about your IT issues you're going to run into, and things of that nature, help for businesses that are out there. But one of the biggest things that we need to monitor during this is how are we doing? And when I say that, I don't mean that from a business standpoint. I mean that from just a personal standpoint. Zach Thomas from the Hancock County Adams is here to talk a little bit about that with us. Zach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Doug.
So the big thing, obviously, is that everybody has been upended. A lot of people are working remotely. They're in different areas. Maybe they've been laid off. There's just a lot going on, and there's a lot to process, and that's taxing mentally, Zach.
Yeah, it really is. And, we're all kind of living in a new experience together. One of the things we've been talking about is we talk about trauma. And, what's unique about this experience is that we are all experiencing this trauma of the pandemic together. Whether we are directly affected by having a diagnosis or a close loved one or a relative or someone we know across the street, or just watching it on the news, we are all impacted by this one way or the other. And that has had some significant challenges that we have had to deal with both individually, but also as a community. And Doug, the first thing I want to share that's most important to know is that services are available in our community. They, with us having stay-at-home orders and the way services are being delivered may have changed, but they are available, and that's important to remember. Particularly if you find yourself really in need. And it's important to know that help is out there. But you wanted to find out some things of, what can we do?
Yeah.
How can we help take care of ourselves, when we're home? The important thing is to remember to validate your feelings, and they are exactly what they are. They are just feelings. They're not good or wrong or right or bad. They are what they are. They're exactly what they are when you're experiencing them. And validating that means you say to yourself, this is okay what I'm feeling. I'm feeling what I am. And maybe you have the opportunity to help out someone that you're living with that's having struggling with their feelings, and help them validate them as well. Say, I understand that you're going through something difficult. I may not be feeling it the same way you are, or I may not know exactly how you feel, but what you're feeling is okay. What you're feeling right now in the moment is okay. And I see that you're angry, or I see that you're stressed out, or I see that you're upset. Validating that gives that person a sense of purpose and well-being, and lets them know that they really are okay with how they're feeling. And if we can do that, that's really, really important to help us move through this together.
That's certainly a good first step. And I've got to imagine, I think that the hardest thing to deal with in this is that you're working from home. And so there's no leaving the office and leaving stuff behind at the office right now, and then getting home and getting into your home routine. It just seems to all blend together. So if you can kind of delineate when you shut it down for the day and either make dinner, get into a hobby, something like that, that's got to be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. We hear time and time again that maintaining that routine is so important, especially for our younger people in our community. And they don't have school now, and at least in the sense that they're used to. Sometimes it might feel like a Saturday or a holiday time, and you think about sleeping in, but it's okay at the beginning, but that starts to really add up. And the same thing for adults. Keeping that routine is so important. I still get up on my regular time, and I do my usual routines, and then I get to work. But then at the end of the workday, it's the end of the workday, and I do what I would normally do at the end of the workday: come home, go for a walk, think about getting dinner ready, and that sort of thing. So maintaining that routine is so important to keeping that mental health while we're going through this process.
And it's weird to think that sleeping in actually could be causing some of your problems, but I know personally that actually did have an effect. I mean, I've always been an early riser, and I'd been getting up a little bit later than I had, and my routine just fell off. This week, I decided to change that and get up closer to what I normally would, And honestly, I have felt a little bit better. And granted, I'm not real happy about the alarm going off a little bit before 6 in the morning. But by the end of the day, I feel like I'm just in that rotation and that routine that I'm so used to.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what's important, especially when you think about sleeping or even eating, is that when you start to see changes in habits that are straying a little bit from normal routines, sleeping a little bit more, maybe sleeping a little less, or even eating more, eating less, you know, those might be some signs that you're going through some more significant stress or anxiety. And it's really important to recognize that and say, you know what, it's okay. If I need to reach out to someone or call someone or even FaceTime or Zoom with someone, it's really important.
If eating more is a sign I'm in trouble because I'm not hungry, I'm just bored, is the saying I've seen thrown out there a lot. Zach, I think it's important to address this from the other side too, is I think that there's some people that are thriving in this environment, not necessarily because things are going sideways outside, but they're happy to be home, they're happy to be working, and possibly feeling some guilt about that, but it's okay to feel that way too.
I think so. We're learning through this process, and not only do we have some challenges with how we're having to manage our normal lives, but we're finding some new things that maybe we didn't know we really enjoyed, working from home or communicating and contacting people electronically. Things like that, we might find out we do really well, and how to become creative with what we have now that we can't go out. We see all the time on our social media feeds how people have become really creative with using all the technology that's available to us to really maintain that mental health and keep a healthy life.
Zach, we've talked about this numerous times over the years, but physical activity is just so important on that mental health side. It's starting to get a little bit warmer, although there's snow in the forecast for this week as we record this video. But we're heading into that spring type of weather. We've seen some hints of it out there. Getting out, taking a walk, we're still allowed to do that, and that can be very, very vital right now.
Absolutely. I know I've been a regular exercise a lot prior to this. And so that has been a challenge for myself. I usually like to ride the exercise bike at the Y, and I'm not able to do that. And I don't have an exercise bike at home, so you do what you can. So we take lots and lots of walks, and that even just a few minutes or half hour of walking or something that's physical exercise really helps to maintain that mental health. It's really important.
Last thing, and I'll let you go here. If people are feeling that they do need services, they do need someone to talk to, whether it's for themselves or for a loved one, again, how is the best way to reach out for that? Where can they get the information that they need to know?
Yeah, that's a great question, Doug. The most up-to-date information is available on Hancock Helps, hancockhelps.org. That website is maintained and updated daily, so all of our agency information is there. They could visit our website at yourpathtohealth.org. And if you find that you or your loved one is in an immediate need, you can always call the crisis hotline at 888-936-7116. Or you could connect electronically through texting to 4HOPE to number 741-741. So all of those resources available to us at our fingertips. And one last thing I wanted to share was, we've talked about connecting with others is so important. And the state of Ohio has this campaign right now called Strive for Five. And the idea is that we recognize 5 people in our community or in our family or 5 people that we know, and connect with them every day for the next 30 days, whether it's through texting, calling, Facebook, email, something. Write them a letter. Connect with them daily on a daily basis for 30 days and see what kind of connection you can make.
That's really good information. And Zach, we appreciate it. Like we said at the chamber, we want people to stay healthy. We want to get people back to work. We want businesses operating. And to do that, we have to have healthy workers and not only heart health and lung health and things like that, but you got to have the mental health aspect under control too. So Zach, we appreciate your time today.
All right. Thanks so much, Doug.
All right, we'll be continuing with our series of videos, both on YouTube and on Facebook Live throughout the weeks here as we continue our way through the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm providing you with the resources that you need to try and help you through it. I'm Doug Jenkins with the Findlay Hancock County Chamber of Commerce.